Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Today we'll paint an autumn landscape with the slow-drying Golden Open Acrylic Paints, which have become my go-to paints for canvas painting. This painting took me about 3 hours, but I condensed the video to about 35 minutes, so if you're painting along, you can pause and rewind as needed. You will see that while I'm painting, I tackle different parts of the painting at once and continuously refine the bridge, the water, and the foliage of the trees. I took breaks and looked at the painting and compared it to my reference photo from a distance several times to see what parts needed more shadow, light, and overall refinement. I left a link to the reference photo in the description, which you can use for your painting. I started by mixing titanium white, carbon black, and a touch of phthalo blue red shade to create 3 shades of gray for the bridge and 2 shades of light blue for the sky. But before painting, let's make a quick sketch to make painting a bit easier. When sketching, divide the canvas in half horizontally and vertically, either in your mind or lightly with a pencil. Then take those points as a reference. Look at the distance between the different parts of the bridge and the edge of the canvas and mark the endpoints before you connect them. You can use a ruler to make a straight line for the bridge. When you sketch, use an HB or a B pencil and don't press too hard, as you might have to erase lines as you get the curves just right. Erase the extra lines as you go along to keep only the correct marks on the canvas, or you may get confused. If you want to make the painting more precise, you can use a grid by dividing your canvas and your reference photo in equal 16ths and using the grid as reference points. I showed another example of how to use the grid method to transfer a small image to a wall. You can check it out if you like, and if you want a full tutorial on using the grid method to transfer an image to a canvas, just let me know. Pay close attention to all the linear details of this bridge when sketching. There are several sections that if you sketch them right now, will make the painting a lot easier. The foreshortening effect of the bridge brings so much depth to the photo, so remember to make things smaller and closer together as they get farther away from you. I even sketched a few details of the water, but perhaps you don't need to go overboard like that. And finally, it's time to paint. I first used a lighter blue for the sky on the right side and a slightly darker blue on the left, even though it's a subtle change. Then we'll start painting in the bridge, beginning with a light shade of gray for the wide section, then a slightly darker gray for the thick strip right underneath it. Then, using the third darker gray, we'll start adding the details on the bridge, blending the edges as we go along. The Golden Open paints make blending wet on wet effortless and enjoyable, much like oil paints. When you paint from a photograph, your reference photo is your best friend. Refer to it every time your brush hits the canvas, as it will tell you exactly what to do. As you paint the far side of the bridge, add a little bit of purple to the gray. The purple is created with pyrrole red, phthalo blue red shade, and white. The underneath part of the bridge is straight black, and after painting that, I started on the water. I mixed burnt umber, pyrrole red, cadmium yellow, and a touch of white to match that orangey brown reflected in the water. For this painting, I used mostly the colors from the Mixing Colors pack, and additionally burnt umber. The mixing pack comes with raw umber, and it's just not the right kind of brown for this project. Add paint gradually until you get a color that looks like the photo. You can hold the paint-loaded paintbrush up to the photo to compare the colors and gauge what you need to add to match the color. The dark watercolor is a mix of burnt umber and black. You can use the same brush to mix the color. Then add more black and continue filling in the water, leaving the light parts aside, as we will use another color for those light purple reflections. To make the purple, I used pyrrole red and phthalo blue red shade, to which I added white in various quantities to the water reflections and the far side of the bridge. The water bank under the bridge is a grayed out brown, so it's a mix of burnt umber and gray. Continue painting the rest of the bridge, adding very subtle yellow and orange hues on top of the gray structure to create an illusion of aged concrete. These little details and textures that you're adding right now will add interest and a touch of realism to your painting that tell the world, hey, I see you, my eyes are open, I'm paying attention and I have time to paint, a luxury granted to few. For the foliage, you will need several colors and values, all a mixture of cadmium red or pyrrole red in this case, either will work, cadmium yellow, burnt umber, black, and the smallest touch of white in various proportions. Start with the dark color in the background, and as you come forward, start adding more red and yellow to make those brick red and scorched orange colors. I used the fan brush in the beginning for the foliage, and it worked pretty well, but then I noticed that the fan brush patterns were too repetitive, so I switched to a flat brush to add some variety. To make the thin branches of the trees, I recommend using a script liner. It's one of my favorite brushes, and I think every painter should have one of them in their paintbrush collection. Another tool that can help you save your paints from one painting session to the next is a Masterson Stay Wet palette. It's so convenient to be able to mix enough paint at a time and not have to worry about it going dry on you. You can just pick up the painting weeks after. However, I don't really like the sponge and paper setting that it comes with. The sponge always goes moldy and smelly after a few weeks. Instead, I couple it with a posh glass palette that fits just right inside the plastic case, and it keeps the paint fresh for weeks. If you feel like it's starting to dry, you can spritz it with a little water from time to time. I left links in the description to all of the tools that I'm using today. Now, I will let you enjoy the rest of the painting, and if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I know it's been a long time since my last video, and I'm hoping to get back into my regular schedule soon, as my new art studio is almost finished and ready to move in. I'll keep you posted on that. Until next time, my friend, keep painting and trust the flow.